Yo, what's up? This your boy A-Wax with the Lunch and Blunt Show, and we back with another week and another episode. And man, guess what? We sitting down with a very special guest. Man, y'all know him. Y'all done seen him in the community. Man, he's all over doing his thing. He's he's an activist. I gotta say, hey man, we got T.Winn in the building, man. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful, man. Wonderful. I'm glad you can come in and sit down. You have so much going on in the community, man. You got a lot going on, and I see that you guys are doing the holidays coming up.
Yes, sir.
You got the toy giveaway.
Yes, sir. We partnering with the Shreveport Fire Department to make sure that no kid has a sad holiday.
Yeah.
And so I think that's real important. Giving back to the youth, because everybody isn't fortunate. Yeah. Even if you are fortunate, you still have opportunity to come get some toys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That's real. So let's go back a little bit. How did you get to this point? I know you did a little time in jail, a little time in prison.
Yeah, I mean, if you call 30 years a little time.
That ain't no little time.
Yeah.
That is not a little time.
Yeah, it's like, like Rod Wave got a new song called Jersey Numbers. I didn't even much have a jersey number. I didn't have a number. I had a sentence that said life. So I did 30 years.
Yeah.
And through those 30 years, I transitioned to being the person I am today. So I did a role reversal, because people have these ideas that prison turns you into a more worse person than when you went in. Mm-hmm. And it does offer that. But while I was there, I turned my negatives into positives, and I became the person I am today. So me doing what I'm doing today is the person that prison created. And sadly, it was, I have to give thanks to the victim of my crime, because it was through my crime that made me become who I am. So I always have to acknowledge the person that made me become this person, the person that I'm forever grateful for, and I forever carry sympathy and regret that situation happened.
That's a first though, for me, but to have someone acknowledge that victim, and then to turn. Man, I think that's amazing. I think God got you on a great path, dog. I think that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. For real. Yeah, 30 years is a long time, brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's extremely long. And then, when you look at it, I went in at 16, and I'll never forget, when I went in, you only saw one cell phone at this time. And Ricky Davis had it, rest in peace. And there was a cell phone where you had to put this you put the scrap on your arm, and you have to carry this big old box. And the cell phones were so huge, and they had the antennas coming up off of them.
Yeah.
And so and Ricky Davis, the only one you were seeing in the city.
Yeah.
So now you look at a phone so small, and life is literally in your hand. But when I went to prison, that's what it was. And I remember, I'll never forget the Jetsons.
Yeah.
How the Jetsons was this cartoon that people looked at often.
Yeah.
And it was like, they was flying cars and stuff. They would fly to work and stuff every day.
Yeah.
And they lived on this spacecraft. And I remember an older guy told me, he was like, man, I ain't trying to play with you or nothing. He said, man, when you come back, if you come back, man, they gonna have flying cars. I said, man. And I look at it now, they actually got certain cars that fly.
They do. It's crazy.
Like, man, how could he predicted that?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wild. That's wild, man. I love it, man. I love it to see that, you're able to witness it and to see the transition and the change of things,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I saw you have sort of like a poem, or what is this? I like this. Love away black hate. Love away black hate.
Just you know, with love away black hate, it's it's a phrase that I coined, and it's a movement that I wish that we could grow from and build on, because you can speak about it from a perspective of being a black person,
Yeah,
looking at other races, how they deal with us and how they hate us
yeah,
for no apparent reason.
yeah.
But when I speak it, I actually speak it for us,
Hmm.
because we've become the biggest haters of our own selves
Yeah,
over anybody else. You can expect every other race to hate us for whatever reason, but
yeah,
why would we hate one another? So when I say love away black hate,
yeah,
it's for us to take a look internally
yeah.
and then go external. And so that's what love away black hate actually is. It's me speaking to black people saying love away black hate. And then if it resonates outside of black people, the
Yeah,
more the merrier. But we need to get away from hating one another. We
yeah,
need to get away from always saying this person is hating on me.
yeah,
And we need to get back to saying, man, let's love on this person.
yeah,
Let's love this person back to health. We
yeah,
need to get back to using the word love, because it's almost been stripped away from our vocabulary.
yeah.
So that's the reason behind it.
Love that, man. Love away black hate, man.
Yes,
That
sir.
is deep. 'Cause it's true. We are the hater. We are the most. We hate us the most. We hate
Yes.
on each other the most.
Yes.
And that's sad. That's sad. But it's deep though, man. I love it. I love it, man. So T, man, what else you been up to, man? What else you got going on in the community? I know you've been doing so much.
Right now, a big focus is on our youth.
Yeah.
Uh, as you know, or probably don't know, Friday, SB2 was passed.
Uh-huh.
SB2 is a bill that was proposed by uh, a woman, a legislator. I forgot what little town she's from, but her last name is Cloud, and it's about rewriting the Constitution so that if a kid as young as 13 commit any crime, I'm not speaking about violent crimes, so please understand that I'm not speaking about violent crimes, because there's already a law in place for violent crimes that if you're a kid, a minor, they can try you as an adult and send you to prison. I'm I'm an actual living person that happened to. I'm speaking of any crime. Whereas it could be a 13-year-old kid walking down the street and decides to pick up a rock and throw it at a car and break the window.
Mm.
If the judge wanted to, he could say that that kid can go to an adult facility. So the focus right now is on, because that bill will be on the March of 2025 ballot, which is a tax ballot. And people don't pay attention to tax ballots because it's a boring ballot.
Hmm.
But it's an extremely important ballot, because if we turn our eyes away from it and don't vote, they'll have this opportunity to take kids and place them in these adult facilities when there's nothing right about that. And we speak about taxpayers spending our money on incarcerating people when we are the most overly incarcerated state in the country, in the world. Actually, Louisiana is the most incarcerated state in the world. Now we would take a 13-year-old kid and say that let's place him in there with adults. I think that's wrong, and I think that we need to pay attention to it. And if we really love our kids the way we say we love our kids, we'll protect them by going to vote no to this bill. So that's where our focus is right now.
The SB2.
SB2, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's good information to know, guys. Y'all catching it right here, man, at the Lunch and Blunt Show. Man, make sure y'all go out and vote for that. We don't want, kids being able to go do hard time for juvenile crimes. You know what I'm saying? That's real deep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's real deep. I like it though. And then you got another thing I saw when you were saying, because speaking of the kids, let's not give up on our kids.
Yes. Our system has a has a way of making us as black people give up on our kids. This is what they would do. This is what they do. They have always done it. They use the most heinous crimes and place it in our faces. We all have a problem with crime.
Yeah.
So they would take a crime, a brutal crime that a kid probably have committed. They'll place it in our face and tell us, should this is a monster. Should this kid be viewed as a human? And of course, we're going to say no. That way, it justifies them making laws the way that they make them. That's us giving up on our kids. But again, when I'm speaking of situations, of this situation in particular, I'm not speaking about these violent crimes. I'm speaking about any minor crime. If we allow what's in place to go in place, we actually giving up on our kids. Because when you look at the long-term effects, if we allow a 13-year-old kid to be looked at as an adult, that means not only did we give up on it, we're giving up on our educational system, because that's going to be the next thing that's targeted. And we got to understand that our education system is definitely in our politicians' view. So once we give up on the kids, give up on the schooling, and we don't believe in those teachers. But we also got to start at home. So I can't never overlook that fact. Yeah. Parents got to start back parenting. So if you want the community to come to the aid of your kids or to the defense of your kids, you got to give us a good product. Give us somebody that we can rally behind and say, this kid doesn't deserve it. Because some kids are in such a bad state mentally that they do these things and people be like, man, that little bad kid getting what he deserved. And it makes us overlook the fact that we should be protecting these kids. Yeah. So we got to be better at home. So when we send our kids out, those kids are a reflection of who we are at home. So that's very important to note.
Man, that's real. Real. Wow. I mean, it's powerful right there, man. I mean, it starts at home.
Yes.
It starts at home. We got to start loving right there first.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Man, that's deep. That's deep. So what would you say to that youth that is out there on that's looking for that right male figure, or that right, the right person to rally behind? Like you say again, what would you say to them that's out there on that path, man, and it looks a little grim for them?
You know, it's tricky situations, but I think that kids, well, again, it'll start at home, because parents need to, I mean, it's sad, but paradoxically, most of our parents are raising their kids from a single parent household. So we can't say that a mom can't raise a boy, because too many mothers have raised sons that have went on to be productive. Yeah. Or even if they're not overly productive, they've managed enough to not go to prison or not go to an early grave.
Yeah.
So mothers who need help, they got different organizations out now that offers mentorship. So a lot of kids need to be mentored. Yeah. And they need to be shown love from a black male, because we don't broadcast love. No. You know, you got a lot of guys behind the scenes that's doing it, but they're not advertised. They're not promoted. Yeah. So the love of masculinity isn't on display as it should be. So we need mothers to seek those guys with these programs. Guys like myself. Guys, it's a lot of guys that offers these mentorships so that kids can really get in and don't follow in the footsteps, like the bad footsteps like we had, the paths that we were led down that'll take us away from society. that'll make us, to make bad decisions that'll make everybody sad.
Yeah.
To make your family sad and to make victims' family sad. We need to stop having victims. Yeah. And that's a big thing. But we gotta really just put these kids with people who know what they're going through, people who have experienced the bad things, because you got a lot of women that's leading.
Yeah.
But that's what they coming from. Women leadership in their houses. But what about the men? Yeah. So the men that's doing it need to be more visible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not throwing any shade at a woman, because a woman raised me. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of great women out here that are leading. Yeah. But I know that they need the help of a man.
Yeah.
And black men need to be shown in a more stronger situation, likeliness, than shown in a weak likeness, which, again, the media plays on that also. So we need to show that black male dominance of strength through responsibility. Because you can be strong just being a supportive parent or a supportive mentor. Strength lies right there. Because if I'm not finna turn my back on my kid, that's the strongest thing that any parent can do.
Real. And I want to add to this, because I think too, we this is for our youth, our young male, young female. Wait to have sex. I'm just gonna put that out there. Let's wait let's wait till we are financially stable, mentally stable, physically stable. You know what I'm saying? Because just laying down, it's a lot of responsibilities there that we don't look at. You know what I mean? We need to talk about, hey, getting your education first. You know what I'm saying? Getting financially stable, getting financially literature, and versus just having sex. And then there we go. We got, young woman raising a child, a father. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's very true. Responsible adults plan the parenthood.
Yes.
So they wait till they get financially stable.
Yes.
Before they just lay down and have a kid. Yes. They plan it out.
Yeah.
We're finna have this kid.
Yeah.
But sex with the youth, it isn't about planning. They don't much have intentions. It's just
happen.
They having sex and
just go.
And those slip ups happen.
Yeah.
But you ain't ready for it. We're not prepared for it.
Exactly.
So we got to really be prepared for what we going into.
Because it's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of responsibility. Everything that we just talked about before this point, it all leads us up to not having the right structure at home.
Yeah.
The right mother figure, the right father figure. All of that plays a part.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I think if we keep pushing and keep encouraging one another to take their time, before we hop into this, just don't do unprotected sex. Hell, I know I'm sounding old right now. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Just wrap the shit up, because there's a lot of babies being made. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody ready.
Yep. And that's another thing that starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
Start teaching them about protective sex.
For real.
Because kids are being raised by kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're not thinking, and then like you say, we have a oopsie baby or something that you ain't, quite ready for, man. That's a responsibility.
Yes.
That's a real responsibility,
One that you never stop being a parent to that kid.
You never stop being a parent.
You're gonna be a parent until to the demise of one of you. So yes.
Yeah.
You really need to be prepared for that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's real, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got you right here at the Lunch and Blunt Show. Man, listen, what's up with 2025? This year is coming into a close really quickly.
Oh man, huh? Man, this is right around the corner.
It is right around the corner, brother.
Man, I think 2025, man. We need to practice. We need to preach and practice a lot more unity,
Yeah.
and we need to preach and practice learning your voting rights, and being engaged in more things dealing with our communities. And we got to just be way more literate as far as voting, putting the right leaders in position to lead us,
Yeah.
because things are getting away from us because we're not voting the way we should vote, and it's hurting us. It's hurting us a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And we just hope and pray that, man, 2025 could just make us set aside so many petty differences, and for us to come together as a people and as a community so that we can turn things around.
For real.
Yeah.
I always got to, I'm gonna ask this question because I'm gonna have to start asking this. But how do you feel? I know you're not a partaker of the cannabis scene, but how do you feel about the cannabis laws here in Louisiana?
They're going to change.
Yeah.
Cannabis will become legal in Louisiana. Might not be right now, up under our current administration,
Yeah.
but just like liquor, every state is slowly gravitating to making that change. Louisiana won't be an exception.
Yeah.
It's going to be just like liquor. It's going to be something where people are going to be able to smoke like they want to smoke. Because it's really harmless.
Yeah.
It's way more harmless than liquor.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen a person getting so high that they go out and kill people.
No.
They never get so high that they have a high-induced wreck.
Nope.
Really, most people that gets high for cannabis, they do a lot more thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They put more things into play.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of their plans into play. As they get loaded, they thinking.
Yeah.
They mind opening.
Yeah.
And they think from a more positive perspective. So cannabis is really something that helps. It's already medically good for your eyes.
Yeah.
Makes you see better. Yeah. Alcohol makes your vision impaired.
Right.
And people, it's a law that you can drink. So it's got to happen.
It's gotta happen. Gotta happen. Yeah. Right here at the Lunch Blunt Show. Mr. T.Winn, how can we find you? How can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at T.Winn, on Instagram at Street_educated6. I'm on Instagram as T.Winn. We got a website, pipes4change.com. My headquarters is 5000 Greenwood Road. My phone number, my contact number is 318-901-7288. And I'm always around. My phone is always on. So if you just need to reach out to me for whatever reason, hey, I'm here.
There it is. Right here at the Lunch Blunt Show. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.